Arthur versus Gilroy, the strong hand. Let's see who's better. We've got Gilroy STORM relic completely maxed out. We get it for free with that stamina event we have going on for the next 5 days. Is it worth it? Is it worth going after Gilroy? We're supposed to do big hits, but we've got Arthur coming in doing 107,000. Gilroy, he's getting a 40% additional attack buff right now to Bull's favor, so he should have hit pretty hard, but he only hit for like 61,000. Now we've got Arthur coming in again with this new buff that Gilroy is going to give him, because Arthur already gave him 80% additional crit rate. Arthur hitting for 136,000. Arthur can front load a crazy amount of damage for 4 turns, and I've used them in PvP quite a bit. Much love to all my supporters, Netmarble, Reset, all the supporters for the new season. You have to go back and reapply. Very soon we'll have the new supporter gift of 10 summons, 100 stamina, and 100,000 gold. We're going to do them one at a time now, so you know it's not a fluke. This is the same debuffs up, 53,000. We're going to rotate this one more time and see what he can hit for on the second hit. Should be somewhere around 53,000. Now Arthur, the real damage dealer, 114,000. We don't even need Gilroy on the team. Of course, this is up against a Frost unit, but we're going to go up against other units like Storm units in Arena with Arthur to show you how powerful Arthur is. If you need a Storm damage dealer, you bring in Arthur. I've been using Arthur in Arena for quite a long time. Single target damage. We don't have to worry about doing additional damage to other targets that are going to counterattack. We just go in and hit that one and kill that one. And it's easy. And he does a crazy amount of damage, because he's got that critical damage buff, 80% crit rate buff. He's got the additional damage he does with his Chivalry 8. This is all Arthur. With Gilroy, we have to have recovery disruption up to make Gilroy a little bit better than normal legendaries. But without that recovery disruption, he's not even as good as regular legendaries. That's what I don't like about Gilroy. If you're going to build a legendary to where they do just as much damage as all other legendaries without the special condition. With that special condition, they go above and beyond. That's not the case for Gilroy. He doesn't show 300% damage and then 123 for that additional damage. He shows like 223% damage and then 200 extra if you have recovery disruption. And he doesn't give himself crit rate like Arthur does. You have to go in there and use Gilroy's skill to take up 20 to 25% of his max HP to take a full turn. You get 60% attack gauge increase. Then you get 80% additional crit rate. And then you can come around and hit for a big hit with that skill 3 and have 80% additional crit rate, so you can actually crit. With Arthur, he does all of that up front. And he's ready to go to hit extremely hard. Way harder than Gilroy. If there was somewhere like this new Forbidden Dungeon hard mode that we're going to have that we need to block healing, that it's absolutely necessary to block healing, I can bring in Alkalon, I can bring in Storm Morgan, and then I can bring in some real DPS to take care of whatever's going on. I don't need to bring in Gilroy to do that. I do like his healing decay. I think it's really cool when somebody's down low and then a healer heals them for 10,000, 20,000, and it does the opposite. It actually does damage to them and most times kills them. But how often is that happening? It's not happening that often because he doesn't do healing decay that often, and it can be removed. It's a normal debuff. This guy just doesn't function well even for PvP. I do like that he has recovery disruption on his skill 1. I think that's really good to go in there and get a consistent amount of recovery disruption if you need to keep applying it. But functionality wise, it just isn't great. If you have to have this legendary build himself up to be just as good as other legendaries, and then in the right conditions, this is after he's trying to build himself up with that skill 2, killing himself, taking his own HP. After that, with the right conditions, he can do a little bit better than other legendary heroes. Arthur wins. This guy cannot compete with him. But when we need recovery disruption, when we need to heal block the enemy, then this is a good alternative to get good damage or decent damage and then good damage in the right conditions. We have pretty much the same gear on both of them. We have attack percentage, critical damage, attack percentage again. He's got effect accuracy, 5,100 attack with 61% critical damage. Arthur is rocking a low 4,300, 69% critical damage, and the same thing. We've got attack percentage, critical damage, attack percentage. He's got speed on the orb, and then we've got attack there. So we are missing out on this. This will add a lot of damage, especially over there on Audrey, the bear we were fighting. And it's going to help out in PvP versus high defense targets. This will bring their damage a little bit more in line, but it doesn't overcome everything I just talked about. The conditions we have to meet for Gilroy. And it's really sad that Gilroy's Chivalry 8 is only active when there is recovery disruption on the enemy. I find that just doesn't work well. This should be active all the time at maybe a lower rate, say 25% all the time, and we don't have to have this recovery disruption up. That would make this guy tons better. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know your thoughts on Gilroy Storm Relic down below. Appreciate your time and your love and your support. Here's where I was talking earlier about his skills, where it's not even as good as other legendary heroes because the multipliers, they're dividing them too much. Instead of giving him 300% when there's no recovery disruption, they're giving him 223. And then 200% if there is. This should be 300% straight, 123% additional if there is recovery disruption. Plus, we're going to get that 50 additional if you have his Chivalry 8. All in all, that would be, 473% damage, which you would think would be extremely high. That's if you can get his critical damage up and his attack up and then get that crit rate buff. We got to get a crit rate buff somewhere, and using his skill 2 to do that, to kill himself and only get a 60% increase in the attack gauge isn't the best thing. We're getting the attack speed increase as well. It can work. In Clan Wars, this could be an option to bring in somebody to block healing and get some damage done. Although I just don't feel like it's something you have to have. All right, guys, I'm out. Take care and have a great day.